Hi, I'm the Buildmonger and welcome back to a brand new thing we're doing on my channel. And that is build tutorials for vanilla. So essentially, right here, we have a gingerbread house. So we're getting into the holiday spirit, but in addition, this uses some of the new dark oak trapdoors that were out in 1.13. Fair warning, 1.13 will not work with old worlds in the same way, and it's not a guarantee that 1.13 current worlds will work in the final release of 1.13, so don't try and build this on a world you care about. However, it's a nifty little gingerbread house, so let's get started building. Here is the floor plan for your house. It is a basic box house, so you might not need to pause, obviously, but this is 9, as you can see right here, by 11, and that is counting the pillars in the corners. So, basically, you start out with your bone blocks, and you're just going to want to go up 5 with them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And cap this one off. Then you are going to essentially want to basically bring the bone pillars across to create kind of a little archway. Now that you have a little bit of framework on the front facade, we can start working on getting the trapdoors in. Now obviously this looks really ugly right now, but we are essentially going to turn these on their side so you get a really nice thin wall like this. And in these spaces, you're just going to want to put an oak trapdoor to essentially serve as a window. This could be like a graham cracker window or something along those lines. And yeah, so the third layer is just all trapdoors. So the siding will look a little like this for the first 3 layers. And then what you're going to want to do is alternate netherwort blocks and green concrete powder to almost look like a candy trim on the house. So it's going to look like that, and it just adds a splash of color and Christmas color into the build. Get a front facade like this once you do that, and you can then move on to the sides. So here you're just going to want to place in your oak trapdoors first, just so you don't really get confused. And you put the oak trapdoors 1 block away from, 1 or 2 blocks away, depending on how you count, away from the bone pillars, and then you're going to want to put 1 smack dab in the middle, like that. And then of course you add your trapdoors, you add your other stuff like the netherwort and the green concrete, and you get a neat little side design. And you are going to want to go to the other side and essentially replicate the exact same thing. The reason I'm skipping the back is because we want to add a neat little chimney to the back, and obviously that chimney is going to be hard to add without more of the building complete. The next thing to focus on is the roof, which is 1 block above the horizontal bone pillars and is made with spruce and quartz. And it is a very simple triangular roof, very tedious. It's got literally no change in slope, so I'm going to skip ahead until a lot of the roof is done, just for your viewing convenience. So your roof is going to look a little something like this, except you're going to want to, every 2 blocks, essentially add a stripe of quartz stairs, so it looks like that there's icing that's sort of piped on to the spruce wood roof, and you're going to sort of get a cool design like this. So from an overhead view, your roof will look like this. Now your next step, you can sort of put in a ceiling. This isn't really required, it can just be scaffolding blocks, but this will essentially allow you to put in some trapdoors that essentially look like they're flush with the bone blocks, instead of having them put one block back and essentially looking like total trash. This is your chance in essentially the front area to put in a simple oak trapdoor window that is too high. And if you go around, it's gonna look like this. One thing I will mention is that you should replace the trapdoors on the very edges that I just placed down in with bone blocks to essentially make it look like the pillar is going up into the roof. Now we can finally tackle the back, and for 2 blocks out from the bone pillar, it's literally going to look the same as any other side. And aside from that, we are going to go for the center 3 blocks. We are going to essentially go and make kind of a cone shape with our blocks. This is going to be our chimney. You are just going to want to bring this cone up past anything that would block the way. You just break that until you get all the way to the top of the roof, and just like break through the roof just like so, and we have 1 block sticking up. And what we're gonna do with that is we are essentially going to cap this off with 3 dark oak stair blocks, add a few singular dark oak blocks like that, and then finally peak the icing up with a quartz stair right there to make it look like it's going into the chimney. Then you can add cobwebs coming out of the chimney as if it was smoke, and that'll just like add a little bit of neat detail that I think will work quite well. Once you essentially place in the trapdoors that are going to be flush with the bone blocks, you're essentially going to be done with the exterior of the build. So starting on the interior, we're essentially going to want to make the floor a mix of dark oak bark, spruce bark, and a few dark oak stairs to essentially look like cracks in the floor. So you're going to get a floor that looks like this. What you then want to do is knock out a 3 by 5 space within the floor, and basically make kind of an ugly sweater looking carpet with a mix of red netherwart blocks and then glowstone with green carpet on top of it. So once you have the carpet in place, and make sure that there is no glowstone showing within the vicinity of the carpet, you can then start making a sitting area. So we're just going to want to put 2 beds across from each other on either side of what will essentially be a spruce slab table right in between the 2 beds, like so. And the final step of this is going to be either to put a magma block down if fire spread is not disabled on your world or server, or if you feel like you're okay disabling it, you can just put a block of fire there as a part of the fireplace. Then what you're going to want to do is make a ladder that goes all the way up to the second floor like that. The next step would obviously be to get the second story floor in. That's really boring though, so I did it myself. Remember to leave a hole for the chimney and for the ladder that takes you up there. So, the first detail that we're going to use in this is a fairly simple bookshelf flower pot combination using some green, red, and white to essentially kind of make it look like Christmas colors and stuff along those lines. The flower pots will essentially look like this. I used red tulips, azure bluets, cacti, and poppies. And the next step would be to place down a Christmas tree. And this is a very basic kind of diamond Christmas tree design where essentially it basically creates smaller and smaller diamonds on top of each other until it gets to a central point. So it's a very, very simple design. Once you got that in place, you can start adding some details. And the first detail could definitely be to add a few presents under the tree to make it look like there are people waiting to get their presents. Of course, right here we are using shulker boxes, and you can choose the colors, such as I use magenta, lime, and blue because they will contrast quite well against the terracotta we're about to put into the tree as ornaments. The ornaments I use red, orange, and yellow terracotta. So you're going to start out with some red essentially along the edges of this, and then you're just going to want to add the orange kind of packed away in two little corners. That one's adjacent to a red one, but say over here you hide the orange underneath the spruce leaves. And finally, we are simply going to want to put in our Christmas tree star out of yellow terracotta, just like that. So there you have it. We have a very simple gingerbread house with a first floor and second floor interior and a really tasty looking exterior that uses some nifty new blocks Mojang added in 1.13. So, if you enjoyed the video and the tutorial, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you did not, tell me why in the comments. And if you really enjoyed the video, click that notification bell to be notified when other videos of mine come out in the future. Anyway, I have been the Buildmonger, and I shall see you in another video down the road. Peace.